Hey guys, I'm sitting here in my mount room right now. It is actually February of 2024. I finally decided to put a little video together on the buck that I shot in 2023. I shot him November 25th. I wasn't gonna put together a video just because the actual kill shot was pretty poor. It was 4 minutes before shooting light ended. I could see him fine, but the camera didn't see him very well, I guess. And so yeah, I just finally decided to put it together because I had a really great season overall. I saw a lot of really nice bucks. Ones that in the past I would have shot, nice 3-year-olds I passed. It was tough, but it all worked out. This is the buck that I killed this year. He ended up scoring, Trevor Strang scored him at 152, and Pat Rankin scored him at 149 and 4/8. So I call him a 150. He's got maybe a ½ inch broke off here, so he probably would have been 150. If that wouldn't have broke off. And anyways, really nice buck either way, regardless of the score. Man, I spent all year chasing this buck, as you'll see. It was this buck and one other one that I was primarily hunting. There was a third buck that I'll introduce you to as well. His name was Peggy. I hunted him a little bit too, but mainly it was this buck and a real gnarly non-typical that my neighbor ended up shooting. So this was the first time I saw him in person. Was November 25th that night, and he came out at about 150, 160 yards, and he was in no hurry. He was in a food plot, so that was my only shot I was going to have before shooting hours ran out. So I ended up pulling the trigger, and like I said, the video from that's not real good, but the rest of the season was great. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And say hi to Hanky as well. He wants to be in the video. He keeps trying to jump on my lap.
Here we go, baby. October 7th. Just got set up. It's like 4:45 probably. And it's a nice night. It's cold. It is windy. But the rain quit. Finally. I've been wanting to hunt the last 2 nights in this spot because the wind's been pretty decent, but it's been rainy, so I haven't because of this freaking camera. I don't want to have to spend $1,500 on a new one, so I've been hanging back, sitting in a couple pop-up blinds, so we're back in the juice today. We got a couple bucks in here that I'd shoot. Neither of them have been very regular, but at least one of them I know is around. I got a picture of him this morning in the dark, but he's around, and if there's ever a spot for him to show up, it's here. So it's cold. 50s. Should be a good morning. I hope he steps out. Hope I get to frickin' sling an arrow at him, but we'll see. Stay tuned, as they say.
Alright guys, so I'm going to do something a little bit different on this video. I'm actually going to kind of narrate it just to kind of help keep you guys, updated and actually know what's kind of going on. This buck right here is one that ended up getting killed by the neighbor not too long after I got this video of him, but I was pretty confident he was a 3-year-old. I know he's got a really nice rack, and I actually put a video of him in the Michigan Let Him Go, Let Him Grow page, and there were multiple people that told me I was an idiot and that he was already a 4-year-old, but I had pictures of him the year before and pictures of him from this year, and I was really pretty confident that he was just a really nice 3-year-old. There'll be a few bucks in this video that, it's kind of the same deal, like they're, right around that 130 mark. And you kind of make a case either way for them, but I've got multiple years of trail cam history with most of these bucks, and the ones that I pass, I'm pretty confident that they're only 3. Otherwise, I probably would have shot them. But yeah, this was the only night I got to see this buck, because like I said, he ended up getting killed by a neighbor, shortly after. And again, I don't blame him for shooting him, as he is a really nice buck. So October 8th here, I decided that we're sitting on a different property. I went with Kat, my girlfriend Kat, and we saw those 2 bucks standing there, both 3-year-olds, and those were literally the 2 bucks that, we were in there after that, she was trying to shoot, and they came out, and it was nice to see them, and they put on a good show, but unfortunately they were too far away. That one on the right that just went out of the frame is actually the buck that she ended up killing later in the year. So that was pretty cool, and it was cool to see these couple 3-year-olds, on this night.
What?
That guy in boogies?
No. Talk to me.
Whoa, that's close. Okay, so it's... I don't want to talk too loud.
It's windy. You gotta talk loud.
Okay, today is October 9th, about 6 o'clock p.m. We just got set up on a little hanging hunt. Saw a couple nice bucks come out last night in this field, so hoping we can get on them tonight.
Nice. Yeah, we didn't get as close as what we wanted to. They came out up there probably 80, 90 yards, and I was hoping to get up there somewhere, but this is about as close as we can get. So here we are. Hopefully they come this way instead of, because last night they went the other way over that hill. So tonight, hopefully they turn this way, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully they even come out. The ozone's rolling, the ion rolling. I'm in my sex swing, a little sex saddle. You want some, baby?
Yeah.
Can't see shit this way. We're gonna make the best out of her. Alright, Donkey, give me the lowdown. Well, it's October 10th. My first time out bowling this year. I got a nice buck last night on camera. About 40 yards down here to the west of us. The biggest buck I've had down here all year. So when we got in here, we set up. Shane was putting this stuff up, and we had a couple does out here in the cornfield. And so far, we haven't seen anything else. But I'd like to see we got probably an hour and a half, or 2 hours roughly. So hopefully something will happen. He had 2 good bucks on camera last night, so hopefully one of them comes out to this corn. This corn's still really green, so that's a good thing. They bed just on the backside of that hill there, so hopefully they come over and them bucks want to come work this scrape line. And old Donkey sticks one in the lungs. That's the plan.
So this buck here is about the only buck that we ended up seeing that night. We did see a couple other like a little 4-point spike or something and some does, but this was about the biggest buck that Tyler and I saw that night. Man, I like hunting green cornfields early bow season. Man, they will tear them up.
Alright, it's October 11th. And I'm back here on my back food plot. I got beans and some brassicas in here. And a lot of the 3-year-olds that I have here, there's like 4 of them. They've been moving pretty good. And finally, last night, the buck, one of the 2 bucks that I want to shoot, was on this food plot like right at dark. So I'm hoping he gets here just a little bit earlier tonight. But yeah, I haven't been getting much for pictures of him. Like, I've gotten a few here and there at night, like in the middle of the night. And then last night, boom, there he was, right at shooting hours. So I'm hoping he shows up a little earlier tonight, and I get to stick an arrow in him. He's a pretty nice buck. Probably like mid 130s, 10 point with a kicker to make him 11 point. So there was a doe and 2 babies on the food plot when I got here, and so I kicked them off. So I'm in here nice and early though. I got set up, it was like 4:20. So hopefully the deer start moving pretty soon, so I'm not bored, and hopefully we kill a giant.
So this is a buck that I'm pretty sure was a 2-year-old. And man, you'll see this guy probably 4 or 5 times throughout this video. I never really came up with a name for him or anything, but man, he was just all over the place. So maybe you guys can help me come up with a name for this deer, because I do not have one. This is a deer that I named Curly. His, probably 2-year-old, maybe 3-year-old, but his left G3 curled in velvet and ended up breaking off. I just started calling him Curly. Another little guy. Man, it was fun hunting over this food plot. hunted it quite a few times throughout the year, and usually would see deer. This back to this 1 2-year-old again. I could use a name for him. So this deer right here is one of the 3-year-olds that I knew I would have a really hard time passing. Again, I had pictures of him the year before, and he was like 110 inches. I was pretty confident he was 2 years old the year before, putting him at 3 this year. And when you see this video, he almost does look like a 4-year-old. But you got to remember, like at this time of the year, like right before the rut is when their bodies are the biggest and healthiest that they're going to be. Um, so again, I'm pretty confident that he's a 3-year-old, mainly just based off pictures from the year before, and a lot of the pictures that I had of him throughout this year too. Really made him look just like a 3-year-old. But again, really nice buck. 130 class, inch class buck. Um, that in the past I would definitely shoot him, and he comes close to me, and my heart got pounding, and man, if he would have hung around for too long, he might have gotten it. So glad he moved on. But I'm pretty sure, or I heard from one neighbor that another neighbor had shot a 10 point and didn't find him. And I'm assuming it was this deer because, like I said, I had pictures of him the year before, and he was around literally all year long. And shortly after this, I didn't get any more trail cam pictures of him. So I'm assuming this was the deer that had gotten shot and not found. But if I had to put money on it, I'd say he probably ended up dying. Man, he worked it perfect too. Came right around the corner of my screen. Just like I drew that thing up back there, and he ended up coming right around and perfect right into bow range. And as he does it, man, my heart kind of started thumping. And again, I'm just glad he didn't hang around for too long. That's one of them deer, though, man, that if he does make it to 4 years old, I mean, he made a great jump from 2 to 3. I mean, you would imagine he'd put on a lot more mass and some more length and be one of them deer that's pushing 150 the next year. So that's why I was trying to pass him. But yeah, so October 12th, I was actually hunting towards the front, kind of looking for Peggy, and I was sitting on the ground, and this doe finally picked me out and started blowing. So naturally, I shot her.
You know what they say, boys. She blows, she goes. So off she went. Be some points for us for a little competition we're in. I think I got her good. Oh, little babies are starting to blow now. Gonna hunker back down. She fucked around and found out.
Yep, ended up sitting it out the rest of the night. Saw a few more does, another small buck, but no sign of Mr. Peggy, the 3-legged 5-year-old that I was after.
Alright, October 15th. Kind of taking another little stab at Peggy tonight. I was getting him a lot in the mornings on the camera, kind of more towards the front from where I'm sitting. I haven't been getting them there in the mornings lately, but I've gotten them there like the last couple nights, like an hour after dark. So what I'm thinking maybe he's doing is coming to these beans first in the evening and then going back that way and working to the south. So that's what the theory is anyways. So I've just been afraid to going on him in the mornings, which he's been more regular at that time. But I've just been so afraid to get in there because he'll be there like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, before it gets dark too, or before it gets daylight as well. So this is only like the second little stab I've taken at him. So hopefully he comes out this way. I had him in the this stand. I had him at 25 yards last year as a 4-year-old, and I could have killed him. But it was after I shot my buck. So I was holding out for another 10-point that I was chasing, so I didn't kill him that night. And I'm glad I didn't, because now he's 5, and yeah, he's a nice buck, half rack, but he's one that I definitely like to kill, being that he's so, so old. So it's pretty rare in Michigan to be able to hunt a 5-year-old deer, so I'm gonna take advantage of it. So we'll see if he comes out tonight. I mean, this is more of a gun stand, it's a ladder stand. And I more put it here for gun season, but if they come out of this edge up here, there's a chance they're within bow range too, so it's really the only stand I have overlooking this edge of these beans, so we'll see if old Peggy wants to play tonight. So far, no Peggy, but got a group of does out here I've been watching for a while. Got the lions on, listening to them here, and they're winning, so that's a good thing. Now hopefully Peggy comes out.
Went and hunted the back food plot the 17th. Didn't have too much action.
Hello, Miss Kid. Talk to me.
You gotta be all up in my face.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
Bone.
What?
Back up.
Here.
Still fucking sleeping in the woods.
It's 5:30 and we haven't seen a deer.
Well, you've kind of been making all kinds of noises tonight.
No,
So.
I haven't.
Okay, a couple coughs, a couple sneezes.
I did not sneeze.
Watching some Instagram videos. Opening up snacks.
Since she won't talk to you, I will. We're trying to kill a deer tonight,
It's usually the main goal.
and it's not working.
I think I'm gonna move on.
I'm getting impatient. Starting to get a little restless, if you will. It's raining per usual, so we're sitting in a pop-up on this little food plot. Cat's seen like 10 deer a night the last 2 times she sat here. So she says, I'm not sure I believe her right now.
I have videos.
Sure. Wish us luck.
October 20th. Decided to sit out kind of on the bean field again where I could see a lot, and saw the 2-year-old that I end up seeing a bunch that I have no name for. Beyond that, it was a slow night. October 22nd. So this buck, I'm pretty sure is a 3-year-old. I don't really know. I didn't keep too tight of tabs on him because he wasn't very big, but I mean, you can see he's got a pretty stout body. I'm assuming he was a 3-year-old, but maybe he is older with just a small rack, But he was around most of the year. I saw him like twice, and this was one of those times. Then again, the buck, the 2-year-old, he broke off his right G3 and his little G4 there on his right side, but third encounter with him, still need a name for him. October 24th, I was trying a new little spot, kind of taking another little stab at Peggy, kind of more just go sit the spot, see how it goes type of thing, and got to watch the old fat bottom girl make her way into her tree. But so that was pretty cool. And we did end up seeing probably 7 or 8 deer that morning, so it wasn't too bad. But mainly just does. I tell you what, though, I think I got it right. You know, in the tree I sat in, I just took my climber in there. Most of the deer I did see were within range, you know, so it's one of them things. If you got in there and there was a buck you were after, I probably was in the right tree, but I know I wasn't very high, and I did get seen by one of them.
Jeez, it's a little bit after 4:30. Just got set up. A little late, per usual. October 29th here. Deer been moving good on camera. It's nice and cool. We just got back from up north, so I was running a little late from that. And then I get up here, and friggin' my strap broke for my camera arm. So I had to jimmy rig that up, and that took quite a while. And in the process of doing that, I actually dropped my camera arm, and it was quite loud. So soon after, 2 does stepped out into the field. They're still out here, so hopefully it didn't spook anything too bad. I'm just worried because there's a swamp down in here, like to my north, or to my east, kind of. And the buck that I'm after, I got a picture of him down in that swamp this morning, like right at daybreak. So I don't know if he stayed in there or if he went somewhere else to bed or what, but hopefully he's not too close and heard that. But we'll see. It's a nice night. It's nice and cool. Got up north wind, which is good for the stand. So hopefully he didn't go too far, and hopefully he comes out and I shoot him.
So again, another 3-year-old. Same broken record. I had pictures of him the year before, and he's like 110-inch 10-point. It's like, if he gets to 3, he should be good, and he stayed at 10-point. Put on a really nice frame, man. It's just like one more year, and again, that deer could be, who knows what that deer could be, 140s, 150s, depending on the kind of jump he makes. But I mean, just a super nice frame, good tying length, decent mass, as a 3-year-old. So again, I was really trying to get this deer through to 4 years old, but I had one more encounter with him, which you'll see, and then after that I never saw him. So I don't know. I never heard of this one getting shot or what, but I just didn't get any pictures of him throughout gun season, so I'm assuming somebody probably got him, and I just didn't know about it. So it's hard to see, but this little guy on the right has a third beam coming out of his forehead. So it'll be kind of interesting to see. I know he made it through the year. Be interesting to see if he grows that back, and if how big he gets, and hopefully in a couple of years he's still around and has a cool third beam. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully I get to find out. So then that 3-year-old decided to come through the screen and got right within bow range of me. And again, he's another one, man, just a really hard pass, but I was trying to stay disciplined on my goals of a 4-year-old, and in the end, I'm glad I did. So, morning of October 30th, I went and sat down in the swamp where I got pictures of Freaka Lake the morning before, and not too much show for it. I think I saw, I don't know, like 7 deer or something, and a few bucks. Nothing big. Just a 2-year-old was maybe the biggest. Yeah, right here. So pretty slow morning hunt. Just didn't see any shooters, man. It's frustrating, when you hunt quite a bit and you're trying to poke around the best you can and not spook them when you're not seeing them.
Hi. October 30th, back in the tree. Hunted this morning. Hunted just over here to my east, a couple 100 yards down in this swamp, and didn't see too many. Only saw 5. 3 bucks, 1 2-year-old, and a mom and a fawn. So nothing really to write home about. So tonight's like the last night we're gonna have like a northwest wind for at least a week it looks like. After tonight, everything switches to like southwest for like a week. I wasn't really planning on coming back here and hunting again, um, like tonight anyways, but you need a northwest wind or just anything out of the north to do it, to get back here. So I figured I'd send it back here again tonight, even though I sat it last night and didn't see any shooters. So, but it's one of them spots, man. One of them can show up. There's like 5 3-year-olds running around that are all like in the 120s, and I've seen 3 of them back here, and I could have shot all 3 of them. I mean, so it's one of them things, like, if one shows up, there's a chance I kill it, you know, and down here where I hunted this morning, like in the swamp to my east, I've had a couple pictures of the one that I want to kill, like within the last couple days, like yesterday morning, right at daybreak, so he's not overly far away, I don't think. You know, obviously a lot can change since yesterday morning, but my feeling is that he's not super far. So, and he's been in this food plot before. Granted, it was September, but I mean, he knows it's here. I'm sure he's been in it since then. I just haven't got a picture of him. Him and the 10-point with the kicker. Both of them. I've had pictures of both of them here. And the 10-point with the kicker was right around daylight a couple times, like just after dark. So, yeah. So, we're gonna give her hell tonight. See what happens. Hopefully one of them shows up, and hopefully I stick an arrow right in their lungs. We got a beautiful night out here. Finally. It's nice to actually hunt a sunny night. It's been rainy. It's cold. It's cold tonight. A little breezy. Wish the breeze would calm down a little bit, but if not, that's okay. The cold should have them up on their feet and out ready to eat.
Then bam, out of nowhere, on October 30th, I finally laid eyes on, you know, probably my top shooter. Is either him or the kicker 10 that I ended up shooting. You know, they were the 2 main ones, and man, he comes waltzing right down to the food plot, and you know, there's a couple does in the plot, and they come right at me. You know, I thought he was gonna follow him right down Main Street. So this deer actually, you know, you look at him and body-wise, he's not all that big. And I kind of noticed that on trail camera. I didn't really know how old he was, but neighbor to the north who shot that tall 8-point early in the video ended up shooting this deer and took him to the same processor that I took my deer to. And he's a very knowledgeable guy, and you know, obviously sees hundreds and hundreds of deer a year. He thinks that this deer got injured, which makes sense why his rack's all messed up. That's why he thinks that because he got injured, that's why his body wasn't very big. But he said that his bone structure was that of a 5-year-old. So he thought that he was a 5-year-old. You know, so that kind of made me feel better about, you know, the fact that I was wanting to shoot him. You know what I mean? And man, he just had junk going everywhere, and you know, his bases, especially on his left side, with like everything coming out of it, were just huge. Yeah, that look right there. Oh my gosh, that's the look I wanted him to have on my wall, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But again, good for my one neighbor for getting him. You know, he's a great deer. I'm glad someone got him. Um, you know, he had seen him a couple times, and you know, he hunts really hard and is a really good hunter, so he deserves it. But so what you don't see in this video, there's a 2-year-old coming from the left, like walking at this deer, not even like posturing him, just walking from the left, coming towards him, and this deer did not like it one bit. Like obviously he was not a fighter, because like I thought he was gonna come right out, but again that 2-year-old's coming from the left and he just didn't like it. So he didn't never came out into the food plot any farther than what he is here. Yeah, as that deer was walking in, I remember I looked to the left at that deer walking, and then I literally turned my head back to this deer, and he was gone. So he must have slipped up into the woods, and a lot of times when they do, they come past me, but he never did.
Halloween. Happy Halloween. It's the 31st of October, and as you can probably tell, it's snowing. First over the plot that I shot my buck on last year. I'm just happy to be here. I don't care if I see a deer all night. I'm gonna sit here and think about that night last year, all night tonight. If I see a deer, that's just a bonus. So, love getting snowed on. You would think it'd have them up on their feet, you know, but we'll see. Really haven't gotten a lot of pictures on this plot this year. That's why I haven't hunted it. It looks pretty good. Looks like deer should be eating it. I moved my camera around a little bit. I've had a couple small bucks, 2-year-olds, a few does here and there, but again, nothing that's been like telling me like, yeah, you better go sit there. So that's why we're a month into bow season and I haven't hunted it. So maybe tonight will be the night something comes out here. We'll see if we can get lucky. I want to go hunt the back where I saw the shooter last night. Old freak-a-leak, but southwest wind really isn't good for it. Straight west is fine, but you start getting south and it starts getting hairy. So we'll see what happens here tonight. Maybe we'll get lucky. You never know.
So yeah, Halloween night, man, cool night. It was snowing, and just didn't see very many deer. Only a few. This is the food plot I ended up shooting my buck on, but man, all bow season it was fairly dead. Just didn't see a lot of deer on it. They were spending a lot of their time in that backfield in the food plot back there. So next morning, man, had the snow cover still, and it was a beautiful morning. I sat till like 11 o'clock this morning and literally did not see a deer. So that was kind of frustrating. It was just a gorgeous morning, though. I really thought I was going to see some deer and didn't. So, man, on to November 5th. A lot of people killed deer this morning. I think Tyler Poles did. Tyler Thering killed a nice one. Cat shot her buck this morning. So it was a really eventful morning. And I had a good morning, too. I saw like 9 deer. And I actually sat all day. But I saw like 9 deer in the morning, and like 4 of them were bucks. But just again, none of the shooters. So I was putting my time in. I sat all day 3 times this year. And didn't see my shooters any of those days, so that was pretty rough. And once again, you can take a guess of who this deer is going to be. Yep, you guessed it, the 2-year-old with no name. The Traveler, maybe we'll call him. Because, man, he was literally all over the place. I saw him a bunch of times. And he made it through the year. Surprised he didn't get shot by somebody, but he did make it through the year, so it'll be interesting to see what he looks like as a 3-year-old. So back to November 7th, I'm in the same stand that I was in November 5th because, man, it's just a nice rut stand back there, and it's like You get back there though, and you pretty much have to sit it all day because I mean it is a spot where one could walk by at any time of the day. In this particular day, I saw like four bucks between like 11 and 2:30. So it was worth sitting all day for it. Just didn't see any shooters again. Them couple shooters I was after, man. At this point, the one was probably already dead from the neighbor freak leak there. But I was, hunting that kicker 10 point, the one that I ended up killing, and man, he was just, not not right on top of me, man. He just didn't live on me, and so just when they don't, man, it just makes it really hard to see him. You got to be in the exact right place at the exact right time. So, but again, I did have a good day November 7th here. A lot of bucks moving. This is a 2-year old that was around all year. Again, I assume he's a 2-year old, 110 inches or something, maybe less. But he was around all year and he made it through the year. So looking forward to seeing what he looks like this coming year. Then this was my second encounter with that 3-year old that has a nice frame. That again I had pictures of last year. Didn't really name him or anything, but this was the last encounter I had of him. No pictures afterwards, so I am assuming, someone probably ended up shooting him, not too long after this, or maybe during gun season or something. I'm hoping not, and that he shows back up, but not too optimistic about that. This was kind of my nightcap for November 7th. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Mr. Peggy, the 5-year-old who in 2020 broke off his back left foot. You might be able to kind of see the way he walks. I mean, it's super easy to tell it's him by the way he gimps. You can see it from a long ways away. Like here, he's 250 yards, and pretty much as soon as I saw him, I knew it was him because he was walking, and he's making his way downtown towards me. This is where I saw him next, and I mean, this is only like 60, 70 yards, kind of coming right into my wheelhouse here, and he just ended up getting into the stick stuff, and they can kind of either come through it my way, or they can dip out the backside, and naturally, like a 5-year-old would do, he dipped out the backside, he had a doe, and he got down into that thick stuff with her, and I could hear him grunting and stuff down in there, and I saw him, but he would not come out. So November 10th, I was right back after him, in that same spot. And that actually November 9th was the last time I saw him for the year. I got a lot of pictures of him after. I know he made it through the year, so as long as he survives winter, doesn't get hit by a car, he'll be a 6-year-old this year, and notching his way even higher on the hit list. So we'll see what he looks like this coming year. So November 11th, I hunted up in the front again for Peggy. Didn't see too much, but I only hunted the morning because we had an Aaron Lewis concert that night, and the Kicker 10 ended up showing up as we were pulling into the Firekeepers parking lot. So I knew I'd be right back in there the next morning, after the Kicker 10 or Peggy, whoever wanted to show up and come to play. But so I was in there, but neither one of them showed up. Some does, a couple small bucks, and that was about it. And that was the last bow hunt that I sat up front.
Alright, it's the morning of November 13th. This is the last morning I've got to hunt for the 2023 bow season here. It was a good season. I'll say I passed a few really nice 3-year-olds, and all 3 of them were pushing that 130 mark. So bucks in the past I would have shot. I could have killed all 3 of them. One of them got killed by the neighbor for sure. And I think the same neighbor stuck the second one that I passed and didn't find him. But I had a picture of him in probably at least 3.5 weeks. So I think he killed him and didn't find him, but that's how it goes, I guess. Then for the shooters, I had 3 shooters that I was kind of chasing around. And the 2 bigger ones that I was really going after weren't really on me much. Like I get pictures of them now and again, but I did end up seeing one of them. October 30th. He came out to the food plot, and the 2-year-old walked him out of the food plot, so didn't get a shot. He got killed by the neighbor a few days later. Then there's a nice 10-point with a couple kickers. Never saw him. He wasn't around much. Get mainly night pictures of him. Figured I'd run into him at some point, but it just never happened. So then Peggy, the third shooter, he's a 5-year-old, got the messed up rack on the right side. I had him at like 40 one morning. And he just stayed in the thick stuff. I couldn't get a shot. So that's how my bow season went, I guess, to recap it. But I should have a chance at Peggy in gun season as long as he doesn't get killed in early gun season. So, like I said, this is my last morning to bow hunt. Then we're going up north for the opener to hang out and have some fun. So, got a couple more hours. Maybe we'll get lucky this morning. I don't know.
So yeah, this little guy was the last buck I got to watch for the 2023 bow season. Went up to the cabin after that and came back hunted with Ty during gun season.
Gun season now. First sit out here. Got a decent 8-point. That's been around. Hoping to see him. So we'll see what happens. Love you in the mouth. So Ty and I are up here. I'm on top.
So Ty and I actually kind of had a banger of a night. There was this buck. He's 2 or 3-year-old. Maybe 120 inches or whatever. But we got to watch him for a while, and then this buck steps out of the swale in the middle of the field. Ty and I thought this deer, at first he thought he was a shooter. And he's asking me, I was like, I don't know. He's like 120s, like mid 120s. Like he was 210 yards away. So it was hard to tell, like he had like split brow tines and he had nice bases. Like Ty didn't really have many pictures of this deer to like know coming into this, like how big he actually was. Well, this deer ended up getting shot the next day by someone actually that Ty knows, and ended up scoring like mid 130s. So Ty and I were pretty disappointed that he did not take a shot at this deer, and we were ready to go sniff the bottom of Duck Lake after we found out how big the buck actually was, and the fact that we let him go. So that was not fun. Ty's still upset to this day.
Get her up. It's up to you. I'm not peer pressuring one way or the other. You wanna see what he's gonna do? We've been spotted, so we gotta hurry. It's alright, you got time. You feel good? I wish I would looked at him better. Alright, just got set up. Bumped a deer on the way in here. I was only bedded 15 yards from my stand or something. Hopefully it wasn't Peggy. If I had to bet on it, I'm sure it wasn't. But I didn't get a look at what it was, so it could have been. So hopefully we got in here without bumping him, like climbing up here. I kind of got my back to where I think he's bedded, so hopefully he didn't see me climbing up and slip out of here without me seeing him. But, man, I tell you what, if he didn't get bumped, I know he's close. He bedded close today, so hopefully he sneaks out here with some daylight left. And I put a freaking 450 bullet through his lungs. Let's go.
So November 25th, finally get to lay my eyes on the buck I ended up killing. And man, I had a couple trail cam pictures of him coming into this, so I knew I was in the chips. Don't mind me being a dork.
something in my beard. There we go. Sitting over the food plot that I killed my buck on last year. Trying to kill Hitch. Buck I call Hitch, and I call him that because he's a bit of a hitchhiker. I don't know where the heck he lives, but I've had a couple pictures of him here, like right at dark. So this feels like my best chance. So hopefully he comes out before dark tonight, and I shoot him. That's about all I got.
So yeah, this was probably the best night that I had. I only sat this food plot a couple times this year, but it was the best night I had on it since the previous year. Saw a bunch of doe. Yeah, I probably saw 20 deer that night, and man, they were putting the feed bag on. I mean, they were all over the food plot. Had them come down the lane right in front of me. You know, it was a pretty exciting night, to say the least, and luckily there were does right in front of me on the lane, and they finally ended up spooking. Like, they were sitting there for forever. They ran back into the food plot, and luckily the whole food plot didn't clear, because if it had, you know, I don't know if my buck, you know, actually would have stepped out or not right here. As you can see, like, when I just didn't have my camera settings correct, you know, you can see pretty decent, and it was still within shooting hours. I just didn't have my settings on my camera the way they needed to be, and you know, he stepped out, and I wasn't gonna try to mess with the settings at this point. You know, I was gonna try to get this deer killed. Strike one. As you can still see, he's still standing back there. He's facing the other way, so it's pretty hard to see him, but he only hopped about 5-10 yards. Still standing there. Didn't really know what happened. Not afraid to admit I got lucky. And finally, he turned broadside here to the left back there. Got him on the second shot, but I wasn't real sure, so I went back there and tracked him, and I did end up finding him.
Big motherfucking buck down, boys. Woo! Look at that fucking dandy. He didn't go 50 yards. Corner of the food plot's like right there. Wow. What a frickin' donkey. Frickin' rocked him too. I missed him the first shot. Oh boy, hung around for round two. I can't frickin' believe it. That's a frickin' toad. Oh, I'll be damned. I don't even have to drag my own deer. Got Hunter and Robert up there doing the dirty work for me. Thanks, boys. So yeah, that was my 2023
Shout
deer
out
season.
Hunter and Rob.
You know, again, I didn't take any video, you know, like afterwards or anything really. A couple cell phone clips that I'll add in, and we did some celebrating for sure. I'll add that clip in, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, I know the kill shot wasn't very good. I probably could have messed with the settings in my camera, but you know, to get a better shot. But when a 150 steps out, that's kind of the last thing on your mind. So I took a shot when I had the opportunity, and it all worked out. I actually want to show you guys this too. These are his sheds from the year prior. I don't know, he's maybe 120 inches. He broke this off, his little G3 there. But this was from the year before. Maybe with it right in the camera, it looks a little bit bigger, but not real heavy. You know, I mean, you can tell the same frame. You know, it's got the split G2, beam swoop up. I mean, everything looks really similar. Just he put on like 30 inches from one year to the next. So that's why I'm trying to get those 3-year-olds to 4. Maybe one day I'll be passing 4-year-olds, but for right now, I'm going to keep shooting them. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed this last little clip. We had a little accident while I was hanging. We thought it'd be a good idea to hang it by a nail. As you can see, it didn't really work out.
Yeah. That is barely old.
I don't know how that bucket came in.
Barely.
But great job.
Yeah, how's the nail still in?
Barely. It's not going to be here very long.
Well, it's the biggest.
Well, he's not 150 anymore.
Whoa, shit! I was just about to pull that up.
Yeah, you're
I got it.
You're 130.
That's so fucked up. That's fucked up.
Beer waits for the Joe.